Hello everyone, welcome to Reach Course. Today I'm going to talk about designing a parking lot and that too by applying object-oriented principles. What I'm doing here is defining the classes, methods, and the relationship between the classes. For your information, this is not a distributed system problem and this is purely to understand the object-oriented design and the principles. This will help you to identify the classes and methods and that too in a simplified and the easiest way. There are multiple styles of parking lots like this. You have something like this and many more styles like this as well. What we are focusing here is of the style on the screen. Since parking lot is a borrowed term, you have to determine what type of parking lot you are designing. This has to be sorted out while gathering the requirements. When you think about the system design, you have to cover the topics like the scope, the key components, the data model, and the performance and optimization as well. If any of these key areas is misunderstood, your system design will fail. So please provide attention and be confident. These type of questions are asked in the interview to determine your communication skills, requirement gathering skills, ability to design a system with classes, interfaces, and methods from the concepts. How you understood the object-oriented principle is like encapsulation, polymorphism, and inheritance, etc. Also, you need to talk about the design patterns if needed. Don't talk about the design patterns unless asked. In this video, I'm going to cover the following scope and the use cases. Parking lot should have multiple floors. Parking lot should have a panel in the entrance and exit. At entrance, they can print the tickets, and at exit, they can pay the tickets and get the receipt. Payments can be through credit card, cash, etc. Parking lot should have an entrance panel to display about the capacity of the parking lot. I will also cover a few more interesting use cases in the Q&A section at the end. These use cases are asked by the interviewer to make sure you understand the design very well and your design is scalable. The questions are targeted to modify or add new classes and methods without breaking the existing design. So please pay attention till the end. When you design a parking lot, as a first step, you have to visualize the real parking lot. Visualizing is not just for parking lot system design, but for any system design. Visualizing means you have to feel like you are inside the parking lot and view each section's areas in the parking lot. Once you visualize the parking lot, then the design is easy and simple. Let me take you to the parking lot through the pictures and show you what is available inside the parking lot and what activities or actions can be done inside the parking lot. When you mentally visualize or drive into the parking lot, you will see parking lot, the picture which is on the screen. You will also see the parking floor, the parking spots, entrance and exit panels, and the parking tickets as well. The next challenge is how do you identify the classes and methods? What you have seen or visualized in the previous screen like parking lot, parking floor, parking spot, entrance and exit panels, parking tickets, it becomes a class. Basically, when you have an object inside a parking lot, then that object is called class. And if you're able to do action with an object, then the action is called a method. Also, we need to find the relationship between the different classes, which is really an interesting area in the system design. For example, you see an object entrance panel in the parking lot and you can print the ticket through the entrance panel. Now, the entrance panel is a class and printing is an action and also called a method in the entrance panel class. Let's go a little deeper to visualize the object and the action done by the object. That will help you to identify the classes and methods. We also need to find the relationship between the classes. Normally, what I do is, instead of drawing the UML diagram directly, I capture all the details in the tabular form, and from this, it is easier to draw a UML diagram. So if you look into the table on the screen, you have serial number, and there is an object or a class which is parking lot. Then you have properties, which is an address for a parking lot. And you also have some of actions within the parking lot. That is add floor, is all full, give me available spots, etc. Then you have other class called parking floor, which has a name, and you have an action called add parking spot, and you also have a relation which is parking lot has parking floor, which is a composition. Then you have a parking spot and which has a property as a number. You have an activity or a method which is it free? Then you have a relation which can be established, that is parking floor has a parking spot or not, right? Then there is another object called entrance panel which has a property as a name and it has an action like print ticket, and the relation is parking lot has entrance panel or not, correct? You have an exit panel, then there is a property for it which is a name. Some of the activities you can do inside the exit panel or scan, you can pay your tickets and you can print your receipts. The relation which you can establish is parking lot has an exit panel or not. The next interesting class is a parking ticket. The properties are the number, the status, it has date and time, and as well as the amount which you are going to pay. There is no activity which can be done in the parking ticket, so you can mark it as empty. The relation between the classes is entrance panel and the exit panel as a parking ticket, and it is a unidirectional. The other interesting class is a payment, and it has a property as a type. The activity or action which can be done inside is a process, and this payment class has a relation with the class exit panel. If you need to visualize the UML class diagram, here is a picture. So you have a parking lot and it has properties and it has a methods. Then you have a parking floor. You also have a parking spot. Then there is an exit panel and there is an entrance panel. And finally, you have a parking ticket and the payment class. I have marked all the properties and the methods in an UML format. If you want to establish a relation, there is a relation between parking floor and the parking lot. There is a relation between parking spot and the parking floor. You have a relation between exit panel and the parking lot. Then there is entrance panel which is related to the parking lot. And you also have a relation between exit panel and the parking tickets. The entrance panel in turn have a relation with the parking ticket. Finally, you have an exit panel where it is related to the payment. And you can also see the difference between the composition and has the relation in the diagram as well. In order to make the system design more interesting, let's talk about some of the key interview questions. How to print the vehicle number or a vehicle info on this ticket? This is an interesting question. In the original design, you never thought about vehicle information. Now what to do? Don't panic. If you have visualized the parking lot properly, you should have seen the vehicle inside the parking lot, and that should have been a class 2, right? We will add vehicle as a class and its methods and property. Now if you see, the vehicle is associated to the parking lot and the vehicle has an ID as a property and it has assigned ticket as a method. And again, the vehicle is related to the parking ticket, right? The other question is how to assign a parking spot to your vehicle. Do you consider the closest parking spot to the entrance? This question not only tests your system design knowledge, but the product and then application knowledge as well. Technically, the solution is possible. What will happen if someone parks on the wrong spot and walks away? What will happen if wrongly parked spot is given to the next vehicle? Won't it create a problem in the crowded parking lot? Are you going to bring the crane to lift and shift the vehicle to right parking spot? You have to discuss all these questions with the interviewer or while gathering the requirements. You have to discuss these questions and get clarifications, and this will prove that you have a product and the business knowledge rather than just the software developer knowledge. I would argue as assigning a parking spots will lead to non-technical challenges. Again, I repeat, this is technically possible but may lead to the system failure. The third question I have is how to have a parking spot based on the vehicle type. There could be multiple types of vehicles like compact, large, etc. Each can have a specific type of parking spot. In this case, simply extend the compact, large parking spot from the existing parking spot class to accommodate the changes. If you have any questions, please ask in the comments. I'm very happy to answer. Thanks for watching this video.